started down the journey to earn everybody's respect. We're not asking for it. We don't expect it for free. We bring the fight. We go take our respect. You be sure you have it in your mind that every single possession you step on the floor, you're going to bring the fight and you're going to take your respect. And when you get your foot on their throat, you don't let it off. Not for 1 second. Take your respect tonight. Let's go. Win on 3. 1, 2, 3, win.
On defense. We didn't execute our game plan very efficiently offensively, but these games are good for us. We need these games. We need to be smacked in the mouth some, help us figure out how to respond, and we will. We'll respond, and I'm confident in how we'll respond. So, we just have to keep moving forward.
There was probably a 10 or 12 year span that didn't touch a ball. I just dropped it and moved on. Now I'm back coaching on the same court that I played on.
Love what you do. Love each other. Chase our standard with the most passion you've ever chased in your life.
I knew I had 46 because I came off and like asked my mom because she does the book and she's like 46. And then I was talking to some teammates and the people behind me and they were like, the school record's 48. And so I was just sitting there, I didn't really say, I wasn't like, hey, put me back in, but you could definitely tell I wanted to go back in. And he was like, I'm gonna give you one shot to go and make it and to get this record. So, he put me in, I made the shot, and then, somebody tried to buy the chair I was sitting in, so that was pretty cool.
I think the rivalry was just a little bit more then than what it is now. We all got along then, but when we got on the floor to compete, we were very competitive. But you know, like the guys that I played against that knocked me out that put me out my senior year at Anderson County in the district tournament, you know, one of those guys' sons plays for me now. I ran into another one whose son plays for Western Hills, and so it's fun now that, you know, all those guys, we all are still in it.
We know a lot of the players, they know a lot of us. You know, there's definitely a bittersweet relationship. You know, when it's not basketball season or baseball season, that's fine, but when it's in season, you know, it's pretty cutthroat. So
Gym's always packed. I mean, there's a lot of hype building up to it. All the students are usually there. You know, I mean, I just look at it as another game at this point.
I've played on both sides of it, but I go over there and I still know everybody and stuff, so it's a little weird going to the gym and I know everybody on their side, but I mean, I know that I'm there. I'm playing with Henry County now, so I'm going to take care of business still, and whenever we step on the court, I'm not going to have no friends, so I'm there to win.
It's about us setting our standard and doing what it takes to keep it there. There's no room at the top for people that accept less than your standard. Okay? No room at the top for that. For us to be champions, to get to where we want to get to, we have to choose consistency over comfort. The goal when you walk out that door is to get up, stay up, push farther. Let's raise our standard every time we walk on the floor. Let's go.
1, 2, 3, win!
We go out of this locker room, nothing changes. Foot's on the gas, you gotta press down a little harder. Blood's in the water. Right, when you taste that blood in the water, guys, you gotta go. You gotta go. Foot on the gas, full throttle, all gas, no brake. Go. Finish on 3.
1, 2, 3, finish!
Today our standard went from here to here, right? This weekend we're gonna raise it from here to here. A little bit more every day. Up here.
That's on 3. 1, 2, 3, cats!
I mean, obviously, all of our kids they look forward to this one. You know, we try to downplay it a little bit. You know, we want it to be just another one on the list, and we try to approach it that way. But there's always emotion that comes with it. And all these kids know each other, and they all get along, and so it's a pride thing. And you know, we're just glad we're able to come out on top of it this year.
We played half our schedule in December. We wanted to challenge. We had a good preseason. We had a good summer. We decided we wanted to challenge them early. We wanted them to be tired, physically tired, mentally tired. Every day in practice, we built it that way, that the front end of our practice was difficult, and we wanted to challenge them mentally at the end of practice so that we could see if we were developing good habits And when we challenged them mentally, were we falling on those good habits we were developing, or were we falling back on old bad habits? We wanted to do that in December instead of the end of February. So we built the schedule that way, that we challenge early, and we learned a lot through that first month of the season.
I think a lot of that goes back through Derek, being able to put it in our minds, like, we're ready, we've been conditioned, we're a great team, we're ready for anything that's thrown at us. Facing half our schedule in December was definitely a lot. We were all tired, all a little mentally tired too, playing all these games, playing all these hard games. But every practice we come to, we're ready. We're getting prepared for every game. We know how to handle it. We know how to move on to the next one.
Derek got a double dose of competitiveness that I'm sure everyone has noticed that has watched him play or coach.
Everything in my house was a competition, everything. It didn't matter if we were skipping rocks on a pond or we worked on a farm. It didn't matter if we were throwing hay, who could throw it the farthest, who could throw it the fastest, who could do it the fastest, who could, so everything was always a competition. So I don't think that it ever hit me that, hey, this is how we're competing. I think it just always happened that way, and that's just it's what I grew up in, and so it just came very natural to me to want to win.
Oh gosh, I've played forward, rebounding, defense, scoring, all of it.
Ed, it's funny because he's left-handed, so a left-handed shot was always intriguing to me. They always just look different, so I've always tried to replicate that a little bit, but in a right-handed way, and it never looked as smooth as what a left-handed shot looked like. And but he's always been a man of few words, but what he said was really important. So his influence on me in the early years, not necessarily from a skill and technical standpoint, but from a grit and if you're going to do this, then this is how we do it, and it'll be the right way.
His first introduction to basketball was when he was 2, and he picked that up quite easily, learned to shoot correctly at 2. He just always wanted a basketball in his hand, so that's what he did. Whether he could dribble it or not, when he was 2, he always had a full-size basketball.
Always loved watching, always loved playing in the backyard. But it was probably late elementary school, 4th, 5th grade, before I really looked at it as something that I wanted to just completely dive into.
First experience was at UK's basketball camp. The beginning age was 9, and I called and asked if an 8-year-old could come, and they said, sure, just bring him as a day camper. So we drove to Lexington every morning, and that was it. He was hooked.
What it did for me is help me realize that I wasn't what I needed to be as competitive as I was. And it kind of sparked me to completely immerse myself into the game. The game of basketball is unique in the way that the pace, but still the way that it takes multiple people to move in the same harmonious manner that makes it a pretty thing to me. And it just always seemed very challenging. I've always been drawn to a challenge, I guess.
He played football once when he was in the 4th grade. He was late at growing. He was quite little, and the pads in the helmet were bigger than he was. So He did 1 year of football and figured out that probably wasn't for him. He played baseball from the time he was 8 until he was 12, and then decided that he didn't want to play baseball through the summer, that he wanted to go to a different basketball camp every week through the summer.
The game of baseball just became a little bit too slow for me, and I really didn't want anything taking time away from me trying to be the best version of me at basketball. Day to day, it always looked different. It's whenever I could get that window to pick a ball up, but at night, I always had a ball in my hand. Whenever we came in, I always had a ball in my hand. I slept with a basketball. If we sat and watched TV, I had it in my hand. I was dribbling underneath my knees.
As he grew older, we had basketballs, numerous basketballs in every room of the house. So whatever room he was in, he didn't have to carry a basketball to the other room. And he would, if he was watching TV, he would be going in between his legs, sitting on the couch, dribbling as low as he could, as fast as he could. This is what he wants. This is what he loves. And if you're passionate about something, you should not squelch a passion.
I wore out the door facing above one of our doors just by shooting at the door facing, and so I always just had a ball in my hand. And I think that is something that I even try to instill in my own kids today is that you don't even have to do anything with it. Just hold it and let it become part of you.
His work ethic, that he worked at it every single day of his life. He didn't take days off from practicing one skill or another. And I think that is what put him ahead of the game. And also, he was a student of the game. He studied the game. He watched a lot of basketball and he studied the game. And he, from a very early age, had a very high basketball IQ. His dad put together some of his classmates and some classmates that were a year younger with another friend of his, and put him in an AAU tournament, and that was a real awakening for all of them.
Our first game in organized basketball, we played a team called the Marathon Hornets. And we didn't know this going into it, that they had played at a very high level. We never got the ball across half court in the first half. Not once. We never got it across half court. And we ended up getting beat in that game 95-15. I remember specifically Dad in the first half was getting mad and wanting to know why can't you get the ball up the court, and we haven't got the ball across half court yet, and I remember telling him that I'm pretty sure there's 8 of them out here, and they were very good. They were really good, and we weren't. I think the next game we played, they had 2 girls on the team that were really tall, and they still beat us pretty good. And as a middle school boy, that's something that sticks with you, and that we got beat by girls, and so that experience was definitely one that opened our eyes to really how the world played basketball, and we still hadn't left the state yet, so just figuring out where we were was a big thing.
I don't think he looked at his size. I think he looked at his skill. or that's what we always tried to lead him to, was to look at his skill and not his size, and to work on his footwork and his foot speed or his quickness. Joe was pretty quick off the first step when he was in high school, and he was good to teach him and help him with that, to help him with defense, to learn different ball handling moves against certain defenders. And Derek, again, just soaked it all up. He wanted to learn as much as he could learn.
As a freshman in high school, I was still 5'2". So as a freshman, I didn't make the JV team. I played just freshman basketball, and you still hear as a kid, you still hear everybody around. He's too little. He'll never get there. Oh, he tries hard, and all the things that parents say to nicely say that you're not very good. That spring and summer was the most painful spring and summer of my life. And as a sophomore in high school, I started varsity. I was a little bit thrown to the wolves. You either figure it out or you fold. And folding wasn't an option for me. And so it took a while to figure it out, but I did figure it out. And and you still hear all the stuff going on outside, off the court, that nobody agrees with what you're doing, or how you're playing, or if you even should be playing, or all those things. And I think that for a while it made me second guess a little bit of what I was doing, as it probably would most any 14, 15-year-old kid. And so it became challenging for me to find confidence through that time.
He had 3 coaches in 4 years in high school, so there was no continuity of any kind, because everybody has a different strategy. Everybody wants to play a different way, and you have to adjust. So he learned adjustment, which wasn't always in his personality, because he is a perfectionist.
Through those years, the program here at Henry County got in a really not good place, and participation was low. It wasn't just a whole lot of talent, and it just got in a really tough place. And I know I preach a lot now about not hanging your hat so much on outcomes, but focusing a lot on the process in between. And I wish I had had someone hammering that into me more through those years, because the outcomes were not favorable.
Derek and myself also, there was no quit in us at all. I mean, never. Our competitiveness was second to none. Nobody would ever outwork me. Nobody would ever outwork Derek. He wouldn't outwork me, I wouldn't outwork him. I mean, even off the court, when we were off-season training, working out, working in a farm, in the fields. I mean, we was competitive.
Derek was a coach on the floor. You can look back and at a couple of the teams that he had, he was the one, the player. And he saw things happening, so he was very, very strong with his basketball IQ and his ability. He could shoot, he could score.
I was always able to, just a few plays into the game, understand what this guy's strengths and weaknesses were, and what that guy's strengths and weaknesses were. And by halftime, I could tell you the other team's offenses and their play calls and their defensive play calls and all those sorts of things. I could tell you what those were.
He was always 15 or 20 minutes after everyone else left the locker room before he came out. He usually didn't talk. He had to filter everything.
It was after, I think it was the Eminence game, and he didn't make a free throw the whole game, I don't think.
Yeah, I had a terrible shooting game, and I didn't shoot the ball very well at all, and I couldn't leave the gym that way.
He was supposed to take me home after the game, or go to hometown or whatever, like we usually did after games. And he was in there shooting free throws, and he was shooting free throws, and Benita was in there with him, and I thought, I am not going in there.
I don't know that I ever even talked to her after the game. I wasn't a very pleasant person after games.
I made the choice to grab some quarters and use the payphone to call my dad and say, hey, can you come get me? I don't think I want to, I don't know what's going on, but I'm not waiting around for that. And I don't think I need to be a part of what's going on. And so my dad came and got me.
That probably epitomizes the reason that we work is she understood even at that time. We hadn't been dating real long, but she understood at that time that I was ultra focused on what I wanted to do, and she respected that.
I don't think Derek ever came out not a minute the whole entire season. I think I did like 3 minutes one time because I fouled out. So it was us. There was 5 of us. We had one guy would come in and out pretty much, and that was it. So
I learned a lot through that year. I learned that I truly could do some things I didn't know I could do, and get through some things I didn't know I could get through, but I didn't know how to do it consistently yet. So that year was probably one of the more challenging of my life. To be so determined to try to be the best version of me, to get to college and to continue playing, and to really just struggle at every turn, that was a tough one to swallow that year.
The work that he put into it then, and then the work that he put into it the summer afterwards, it was definitely something that he was going full force into, and so sad after, the season was over.
As much as I wanted it to be full of championships and banners and all those sorts of things, it just prepared me more for what was to come later. And so I'm thankful for that. They contacted me. I went out for a visit and played some during the visit, and was comfortable there in what they did. And they were really good. They were really good. They had just come off of a D3 national championship the year before that. So they were a really good Division III team, and so yeah, that was really my best option. I went into college in the best shape of my life, the best shape I'd ever been in. I followed their workout program to a T that they sent me through the summer. I ate 7 times a day, small meals, lifted, ran, skill work every day, and thought that I was prepared. And it did not take me very long to understand that my best shape and what I thought was my best preparation wasn't close. So on top of the change of environment, your safety net being gone, and then that part smacking you in the face of you're no longer the best player there, or what you thought was good in preparation isn't. So when that happens, it shakes everything that you ever thought was right, and that you were ready for. Coach Shaver pulled me in, and we had a conversation about where I was, where I needed to improve on. You know, in a nutshell, you know, basically said you're not good enough to play right now, and wanted to put me on the JV team. I couldn't get my head wrapped around that I went to a Division III program and still wasn't good enough to do what I wanted to do. I'm not real sure over the next few days what all of my thought process was. Mad, sad, more determined, less determined. So that was probably one of the biggest turning points of my life, and what I thought I always was, maybe I wasn't, and trying to figure out what my next steps were.